Hey guys, what's up? I know it's been a really long time since I posted a YouTube video. I do apologize for that. I just kind of got out of doing YouTube for a little while. It happens from time to time. I just don't really have anything worth posting. However, this video is a video that's been requested from more than one of you guys, actually, just to do a review on the 2-inch lift that I installed on the RZR. I'm just going to go over kind of the things that I've encountered with the 2-inch lift and how it rides, and just overall how it's been since I put it on. Now I have about 2 years-ish on the lift. I've put it through anything you'd put a side-by-side through. I've gone through the mud, I've jumped it, I've raced it, I've done pretty much anything you do with a side-by-side with it. So we're just gonna go over everything, and hope you guys enjoy the video. And the generic thing that everybody says, please do like, share, subscribe to the videos. I really do appreciate it. It does help me out. So right here we have my 2018 RZR 900 Trail EPS edition. So this is the 50-inch version and also the EPS model. So we have the electric power steering, which does help out a lot. I've driven one without power steering, and it well, just wasn't as good as this. So anyways, you'll notice that this is, I don't know if you can see it on camera so much, but it is quite a bit higher than the regular 50-inch RZR in stock form, that is. So we're almost 2 inches. I think we're 1 3/4 inches from when I measured in the install video. It does look a lot higher, and I find that also with the addition of the wheel spacers, the RZR is wider. So we're also sitting at 54 inches. So I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it does look a lot wider than that, but it is sitting at 54 inches. So you don't look all sucked in. Now, when I bought the RZR, I didn't really know much about them. I kind of really got into it and started diving into YouTube videos on these things when I bought it. And had I known what I know now, I would have probably gone with the S model. So I believe that one's 62 inches. Which probably would have been something more along the lines of what I would have used it for. But this one has done everything that I've been wanting to do with it so far. So I'm just going to give you guys a look at the 2-inch lift here. So I don't know if you guys can really see this right here, but we have, actually it might be easier to just show you guys by taking this off. So you can see that little bracket right there, that silver looking bracket. That's the bracket for the front part of it. Moving over to the back side here, we've got this little bracket here. You might be able to see it a little easier on this side. So this silver bracket there, I don't know if you can see with the light. Let me get my flashlight. So that silver bracket right there, all it really does is make your shocks more upright, and that's what pushes your A-arms down and giving you that lift. Now, as far as the ride quality goes, that's probably the biggest thing. It is stiffer. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say it's amazing, best ride I've ever had. It is a lot stiffer. Now that may also be due to the fact that I have these cranked just 1 notch below max. So that alone in itself makes it stiffer. But with the shocks being at a more straight angle, I would think that also makes it stiffer. Now the thing I was surprised with is the harder you drive it, the more plush it becomes. So if you're going really slow over moguls or even hitting jumps, it is going to be really rough. It is going to knock you around. But I've actually jumped this thing at a few dune looking locations. And I'm not talking massive, because again, it is a trail edition. I can't really launch it unless I really have the perfect jump, because these do tend to roll a lot more than something with better suspension. But I have jumped it maybe 2, 3, 4 feet in the air, and it lands really plush. Like, I think it's just because of the fact that it's set really stiff. So it's set for really rough and extreme driving. So anything at a slow pace, you're gonna feel it. However, it is good for mudding, because the stiffer suspension works really good at keeping, I guess, your tires down, from what I understand. But no, it does keep everything nice and stiff for when you're in the mud, and it gets through really easy. I've gone in the mud and water, I guess I would say, up to probably about here. Doesn't always get through, because I mean, we're not that high off the ground. We're maybe a foot and change off the ground. So as soon as you get high centered, well, with any side-by-side really, in like a four-wheeler rut, you do get hung up. But since we're wider than a four-wheeler, sometimes you can have your one tire on the outside of the rut and you get through pretty easy. But other than that, as far as the ride goes, yes, it is stiffer, but in my opinion, it is worth the trade-off of it being a little bit more capable. Now, also, I'm going to try to maybe put a picture down below here of what it looked like before, just so you guys get a good image of how low this thing really did sit. Now, I don't know how it's going to come through in camera, but this thing does sit, it looks all right now. It almost looks like, almost, I'm not going to say it is like, I would say almost looks like the S model, not quite as wide, but the height, I believe, is there. It's looking pretty good. And I might add, this thing is very clean. I cleaned it like amazing the other day, went through the whole thing. Believe it or not, using Lemon Pledge. Sprayed the whole thing down, let it sit for like 5-10 minutes, get the foam to kind of go away, and then you just wipe it down with a rag, and this is the result. I'd say it's pretty good. It looks almost brand new. And this thing, it's been through clay, it's been through everything, so this thing has been quite filthy. Anyways, back to the review. Like I said, with the way the thing is sitting now, it's definitely a lot better than it was from stock. I would suggest anybody who has a model like this to upgrade to the lift. The lift's only, it's like a $200 eBay thing. It's nothing quite all that expensive. And like I said, I've jumped this thing, I've raced it, I've thrown it into mud holes. There's nothing I haven't done with it, and the lift has held up spectacularly. I haven't had to tighten any bolts. I haven't had to do anything. This thing's been amazing. I haven't even changed the belt on this thing. We've got almost 1,500 kilometers on it. It's been amazing. The only thing that's really happened with this thing is this tire. It's blown the bead twice. I've gotten holes through it. It's got a bunch of plugs and patches, but it's holding strong. But thank God we've got this rear tire rack here that we fabbed up. If you guys are curious as to how I did this, if you're new to the channel, I have a video on exactly how I built this thing. Did not pay for it. Cost me about $30. Definitely a good investment. So go check out that other video on my channel. I go through how I built it, and it's amazing. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from this. It's definitely a great investment. Another thing you want to look out for is axle angles when you do lift. I don't know if you guys have ever seen when you lift a bike or even side-by-sides for that fact, you see that the axle angles just get terrible. But just looking at the axle angles here, they're actually not that bad. They're not really that far from flat. And especially when you get the weight of me sitting in there, it's not all that bad. Now the front is a little bit worse, but again, when you got me sitting in it, it's not all that terrible, really. And even when it's flexed out when you accelerate or anything like that, like I said, I've never broken anything on this. The axles are still really tight. Like if you shake them around, razors are really bad for having loose axles. From what I can see, like the front ones, they've got the littlest amount of play, but almost nothing. See, like this one's still really tight, and I know when they're in park and on certain angles, the axles will be, they'll be tight, and then other times they'll be sloppy, but they don't ever move. So I'm impressed by how this thing's held up. So as far as the axle angle goes, it's perfect. And even the ball joints, if I showed you guys the ball joint angles, see, they're pretty flat, even with the 2-inch lift. Now, that goes for this side as well. Obviously, it's the same on both sides. But yeah, so ball joint angles, axle angles, that's all good. Overall, I'm really impressed with this lift. I really like how it performs. I would definitely suggest any one of you to get this. You don't have to get any super name brand thing. This is just a cheap no-name thing off of eBay, and as you can see, 2 years of use, haven't broken a thing, and it's still going really strong. Can't really put a link in the description as to where I got it. It's just 2018 RZR 2-inch bracket lift on eBay. Any one of those in the first things that populate, probably be one of those. Just look for something kind of like I have the kits. Some of the kits don't come in instructions. Mine came with a little bit, but if you're confused, just watch the video. Go through my videos, you'll see it's clearly marked there. It's one of the more popular videos. But yeah, overall, I suggest you guys get this. It's definitely a must-have for the 50-inch versions, because I find they come really slammed to the ground. They're really only good for like trail riding. That's why they have the trail name on them. But trail riding, but anything more extreme than that, and they kind of have a hard time. But this has made this thing a lot more versatile. And yeah, I'm really impressed with how it's held up. And honestly, I'm surprised with nothing ever breaking. I also want to add that these are the stock 20-inch or 26-inch Carlisles. I do plan to get 28, possibly 29-inch tires once these are worn out and I replace them. So that'll give me an extra inch and a half, depending on which one I go with, of extra ground clearance. So that will help with the height along with the 2-inch lift. I'm saying 28, 29. I can probably go 30, maybe 31 and squeeze it in there if I get a skinny tire. I just don't want to go too big because I don't really want to do my clutch. I know it's probably just a spring, maybe some weights, not sure what's involved with doing that. I think it's just a spring, but I'd rather not have to screw with the clutch. But yeah, I will replace the tires at some point. So that will give me some more lift. So I do thank you guys for sticking around. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please, again, like, share, subscribe to the videos. I'd really like to have you guys here. I'm not going to promise you guys videos every week like I did in the past because I end up just disappointing. But anytime I have something cool to show you guys, I'm going to post it up here. So just stay along for the ride. So I appreciate you guys. Have a good day.